Section 5 Transaction Processing Systems Introduction. This study session presents what transaction processing system is, the various types of transactional processing, transaction processing system features, and the backup procedures of transaction processing systems. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to explain what transaction processing system is, discuss the types of transactional processing, highlight transactional processing system features, outline the backup procedures of transaction processing system. Transaction processing. Have you noticed what ensued when you purchase goods items from a shopping mall? Good, you are right. Your purchase transactions are processed at the cashier's desk. Transaction processing is a style of computing that divides work into individual, indivisible operations called transactions. A transaction processing system, TPS, or transaction server is a software system or software-hardware combination that supports transaction processing. Types of transaction processing. Batch processing. Transactions may be collected and processed as in batch processing. Transactions will be collected and later updated as a batch when it is convenient or economical to process them. Historically, this was the most common method as the information technology did not exist to allow real-time processing. Real-time processing. This is the immediate processing of data. It provides instant confirmation of a transaction. It may involve a large number of users who are simultaneously performing transactions which change data. Because of advances in technology, such as the increase in the speed of data transmission and larger bandwidth, real-time updating is possible. Databases for transaction processing. What is a database? A database is an organized collection of data. Databases offer fast retrieval times for non-structured requests as in a typical transaction processing application. Databases for transaction processing may be constructed using hierarchical, network, or relational structures. 1. Hierarchical structure organizes data in a series of levels. Its top to bottom like structure consists of nodes and branches. Each child node has branches and is only linked to one higher level parent node. 2. Network structure. A network structure also organizes data using nodes and branches, but unlike hierarchical, each child node can be linked to multiple higher parent nodes. 3. Relational structure. A relational database organizes its data in a series of related tables. This gives flexibility as relationships between the tables are built. The following are the essential features required for a database system to be used in transaction processing systems. 1. Good data placement. The database should be designed to access patterns of data from many simultaneous users. 2. Short transactions. Short transactions enables quick processing. This avoids concurrency and paces the systems. 3. Real-time backup. Backup should be scheduled between low times of activity to prevent lag of the server. 4. High normalization. This lowers redundant information to increase the speed and improve concurrency. This also improves backups. 5. Archiving of historical data. Uncommonly used data are moved into other databases or backed up tables. This keeps tables small and also improves backup times. 6. Good hardware configuration. Hardware must be able to handle many users and provide quick response times. Transaction processing systems features. The following features are considered important in evaluating transaction processing systems. Performance. Fast performance with a rapid response time is critical and essential. Transaction processing systems are usually measured by the number of transactions they can process in a given period of time. Continuous availability. The system must be available during the time period when the users are entering transactions. Many organizations rely heavily on their TPs. A breakdown will disrupt operations or even stop the business. Data integrity. The system must be able to handle hardware or software problems without corrupting data. Multiple users must be protected from attempting to change the same piece of data at the same time. For example, 2 operators cannot sell the same seat on an airplane. Ease of use. Often users of transaction processing systems are casual users. The system should be simple for them to understand, protect them from data entry errors as much as possible, and allow them to easily correct their errors. Modular growth. The system should be capable of growth at incremental cost rather than requiring a complete replacement. It should be possible to add, replace, or update hardware and software components without shutting down the system. Backup procedures of transaction processing system. Since business organizations have become very dependent on transaction processing, a breakdown may disrupt the business regular routine and stop its operation for a certain amount of time. In order to prevent data loss and minimize disruptions, there has to be well-designed backup and recovery procedures. These recovery procedures can rebuild the system when it goes down. A TPS may fail for many reasons such as system failure, human errors, hardware failure, incorrect or invalid data, computer viruses, software application errors, or natural or man-made disasters. As it is not possible to prevent all failures, a TPS must be able to detect and correct errors when they occur and cope with failures. A TPS will go through a recovery of the database which may involve the backup, journal, checkpoint, and recovery manager. Types of backup procedures. There are two main types of backup procedures: grandfather, father-son, and partial backups. Grandfather, father-son. In this procedure, complete backups of all data are taken at regular intervals, daily, weekly, monthly, or whatever is appropriate. Multiple generations of backup are retained, often three, which gives rise to the name. The most recent backup is the son, the previous, the father, and the oldest backup is the grandfather. This method is commonly used for a batch transaction processing system with a magnetic tape. If the system fails during a batch run, the master file is recreated by restoring the son backup and then restarting the batch. However, if the son backup fails, is corrupted, or destroyed, then the previous generation of backup, the father, is used. Likewise, if that fails, then the generation of backup previous to the father, that is, the grandfather, is required. Of course, the older the generation, the more the data may be out of date. Organizations can have many generations of backup. Partial backups. This technique is normally used in conjunction with regular complete backups. The master file is backed up at regular intervals. In between backups are made only of records that have changed. For example, a full backup could be performed weekly and partial backups taken nightly. Recovery using this scheme involves restoring the last full backup and then restoring all partial backups in order to produce an up-to-date database. This process is quicker than taking only complete backups at the expense of longer recovery time. Study section summary. In this study section, you have learned transaction processing systems and its types, the types of databases that are used within transaction processing systems, backup procedures to safeguard against information loss, the types of backup procedures. This is the end of study section 5. Thanks for listening.